Hello aviators, VATSIM here. Welcome to leg 3 of the United Island Hopper series I'm doing here for United Virtual Airlines, which I'm a part. Today we'll be flying from the Kwajalein Atoll, Buckles Army Airfields, and we'll be heading out to the west, southwest toward Kosrae on the part of the Federated States of Micronesia. So we'll go ahead and put it out here to our aircraft. You can see there are a few other aircraft on the ramp here. I think they're just part of the AI traffic, maybe. I'm not sure who they are. I don't believe they're on VATSIM with us, but that's perfectly fine. But we'll go ahead and hop on into the aircraft now and get everything rolling. Once again, I have gone ahead and loaded everything into the MEC2 so that all we have to do is just brief and get underway to Kosrae this evening. So let's go ahead and hop on board. Looks like we're almost done getting the passengers on. We have 119 passengers on board today. I'm going to go ahead and fire up the APU while we brief, get it warmed up really quickly, and that way we can disconnect and get everything rolling as soon as we're done. Alright, so like I said, today our flight is going between Kwajalein Atoll, and we're going up to Kosrae, or down to Kosrae actually. So it's just going to be a little bit farther down this long chain of islands and atolls that goes through this part of the Pacific Ocean. Pretty incredible part of the world, really. And our fuel that we're planning, our fuel load for this flight today, planned gate was 16,400 pounds, and that's exactly what we're showing here for our fuel total on board, so that's good. Min fuel for takeoff is going to be 15,887. Our zero fuel weight is 111.5, and just make sure that's showing over here in our performance. Takeoff weight planned at 127.4, and we're showing that we'll be at 128.1. So that's a little higher than what was anticipated there. All right, let me just double check here on the payload here. So zero fuel weight, we're showing 111.5. Yep, that's correct. And gross weight right now is at 127.9. So yeah, that's correct, because we're going to burn 500 pounds of fuel on the taxi out, so that'll be at 127.4. All right, so that all does match up. That's good. Weather-wise, right here in Kosrae, you can see it's a beautiful day. You can see all these trees, and no rain today like when we came in yesterday. Pretty low visibility. Thankfully it lifted a little bit as we were coming in on our final approach, but it got really bad once we were parked here at the gate. But today winds are 080 to 11, 10 miles, scattered clouds 1900, temperatures 30, dew point 25, and altimeter is 282. We have that set across the board. In Kosrae right now, weather forecast winds 090 at 7 knots, 10 miles, broken at 2000, broken at 13. Temperatures 30 again, and 285 on the meters. So they are forecasting some showers in the vicinity. Planning to shoot the NDB approach into Kosrae, and it is not in the FMS here. So we're going to do a little bit of a build, and we'll have to fly it pretty much manually. So that will be a lot of fun. I'll just kind of show you a technique I'm going to use for that today, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. They actually have NDB approaches out in this part of the world still, so it's something that's kind of doesn't exist much here in the United States mainland where I live and fly primarily. NOTAM wise, we're looking at nothing of note at either of these airports. They're just saying that the runway 23 runway end lights are out of service up in Kosrae. That's the only NOTAM, but that shouldn't affect us. I think we'll be landing on the other end of the runway there. For our taxi plan here, let me pull up our airport diagram at Kwajalein here. It's loading, and I'm not sure why it. See, I had loaded the airport diagram earlier, but it did not save it on there. So I'll pull it up again here for us. So it's going to be a. We're going to start up here. I think we can make a left-hand turnout, and it's going to be Delta, right turn Echo, Alpha, runway 6. And that's going to be our taxi plan. After we take off, show you our route here. We're just going to make right traffic back around and intercept a Alpha 222 all the way down toward Steph, which is what we were cleared on. So we're squawking 2000, flylevel 360 set. We're cleared all the way up to our cruise altitude today. And that filed route is going to be, switch to make sure we're on legs, get on plan mode here so we can verify each of our legs. So it's runway, I'm not sure, did it get our runway in? Yeah, runway 6. And then it's Steph. And stand by, I just need to get, I don't know the names of this. Steph, and then Kosrae, NDB, and then the airport, so it's direct. Total distance that we're showing here is 353 nautical miles, and we were planning 393, so it's pretty close. Looks good. Our nav instrument, nav status, everything's good, since we'll be going into class 2 navigation again. Out over the ocean, and if we do have to reject our takeoff, it's going to be standard abort criteria. So below 80 knots we'll abort takeoff for a variety of reasons. Above 80 knots only if we have an engine fire, severe engine damage, or the aircraft does not appear that it will be able to get or remain airborne. For our takeoff data, planning flaps 1 takeoff today. Let me let me take us back over here, pull up the takeoff performance numbers on our MECD over here. So flaps 1, speeds are going to be 124, 137 for VR, and 145 for V2. The reason there's that big split today, I ran wet performance numbers. This runway is not grooved here, according to the airport diagram. Therefore, if we were going to reject the takeoff, we would have to reject it at a much lower speed. So there's going to be 13 knots from V1 until we actually rotate. And that's accounting for that increased distance that would be required if we did have a rain shower pop up while we're taking off and had to reject the takeoff to a full stop for any reason at V1. So that's the reason for that. It is a pretty big gap. And if we do lose the engine, we'll just continue straight out 3,000 feet, come back around to land here at Buckholz Army Airfield. No real terrain or obstacles of note. Transition altitude, it is going to be at 5,500. I need to get that in here really quickly. So transition altitude is going to be 5,500 out of here today. So that's set now. ACARS, let me get that initialized really quickly. Like I said, we are flying with United Virtual Airlines again today. It's good virtual airlines if that's the sort of thing you're into. It's a fun way to simulate transport category aircraft operations, and it's a good group. There are quite a few real-world pilots, real-world United Airlines pilots that are in the group also. So that's cool. They have some training sessions regularly. And also you can get type ratings and take check rides every year. So it's a fun way to kind of simulate airline operations and also help you become a better flight simulator pilot. But that's all I have for our briefing today. So as always, if y'all have any comments or questions, even if it's after this is ended, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Let me know right in the comments. Alright, we're going to go ahead and do the pre-flight checklist. Interior and exterior inspection complete. Circuit breakers are checked. Nav and display switches, norm and auto. Passenger signs on. Window heat on. Engine bleed air switches on. Pressurization panel set. Pressurization mode selector auto. Mode control panel is set. Oxygen mask checked. Altimeter is 2982 cross-checked. Flight nav instruments checked. Warning and annunciator lights checked. Speed brake down. Takeoff warning checked. Close. Engine start. Levers cut off. Stab trim cutout switches are normal. Fire warnings checked. Radios and transponder are set. Radar off. Rudder and aileron trim free and 0. The windows are closed and locked. Flight attendant briefings complete. Departure briefing complete. Logbook QRHs on board and fuel required. 16.4 is on board. So that's everything. I want to check this really quickly. Just make sure that we don't show any active failures yet. So nothing's written up on the aircraft. Just wanted to double check that really quickly. Let's go ahead and get everything, get our power transferred over to the APU. First we're going to switch the knob here, make sure we have good frequency and voltage. We do, so let's get the APU online, get the ground power off. Go ahead and get that disconnected and also the air. And then we will switch the bleeds over to our APU, which will be good. Go ahead and tell them to get the stairs released from the aircraft. There we go. See how it's looking out here. Yep, so doors closed, just waiting on them to disconnect the external air. Yeah, you wouldn't want to close the door before that was done, but alright, here we go. Let's go ahead and get the APU on. Packs are on now, there we go. And I'm just going to run through the full checklist here. We got all our pumps on. Get the anti-collision light on. Hydraulics on. And transponder to transponder. And pushback check, doors closed, hydraulic panel set, fuel panel set, flight deck door is closed and locked, and transponder, pushback check complete. Let me just make sure again that they are done with the boarding process. Let's see here, whoops. Pulling up pack X on my end just to make sure. Yep, everybody's on board. We're ready to roll. Let's go. Alright, pushback check is complete. Let's go ahead. We can start 2 then 1. Put hydraulics on. They're going to remove the shocks really quickly. There we go. Alright, starting 2, then 1. Here we go. And 2. Oil pressure. And 1. EGT. Just waiting on the N2 stagnation here. Alright, there we go. And fuel flow, light up. engine valve closed, spar valve closed, lights are out.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the screen for the 4 safety demonstration.
And should be getting started cut out here in a few more.
Welcome aboard. Before we depart, please remove the safety
And there's our
marks
starter
in
cut out.
front of you and follow along as we demonstrate the safety.
And I'm going to go ahead and get the second engine started for this tight turn out of here. I don't know if they're going to move that tug out of the way or not.
If you're seated in an exit row, you may be required to assist the crew.
Alright, starting one.
If you're unable to
There we
perform
go.
the functions described on the safety card, please advise the flight attendant for reseating at the end of this video.
And two. Oil pressure. N1. EGT. I will tell you, it is, at least in some aircraft in particular, it's important to check that N1 rotation. One time I was flying a jet after an ice storm had gone through and didn't see N1 rotation. Thankfully, we didn't throw any fuel in the engine. There's our N2 stagnation. Let's see here, fuel flow and light up. But anyways, no N1 rotation. And turns out that the bottom part of the engine was iced up completely, like a couple inches of ice. So thankfully we aborted the start, didn't damage the engine, and maintenance was able to come out. They had to blow hot air in there for a few minutes until the ice was all gone, and then we were able to get out of there. But yeah, you can have severe damage to engines if there's a lot of ice around. I know American Airlines has lost. They've lost had a lot of damage to aircraft in Dallas when ice storms hit there. I've heard about that. So it's serious. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead, let's do flaps 1. Personnel are clear, we'll go ahead and do the control check here while we're here. Typically it'd probably be clear the ramp, but nobody will move out of the way here, so I'm just going to do it this way. Alright, and let's get the generators switched over. Alright, after start check, generators on, probe heat is on, NTA standard air conditioning panel set, recall checked in, auto brakes RTO, after start check complete, taxi check, flaps 1. Still need to check the actual handle position here. There's 1, gauge 1, and green light. Takeoff speeds 124, 137, 145 set. Thrust DTO 2 plus 32. Stab trim 5 points. I have my takeoff data sheet here. I always need to reference that, make sure it looks good. 5.23, that's what we're showing. And flight controls check, taxi check complete. So we'll go ahead and begin our taxi out to the left. And I'm just going to have to assume that this will get out of the way. Flight simulator has a few limitations, but it's going to be a fairly tight turn. As you can see, we'll get rolling forward and then we'll make an immediate turn to the left. Here we go. Just going to try and keep our engine thrust. Alright, we're moving. China Airlines over there. It's pretty cool how this aircraft can turn on a dime once you get the tiller going. So yeah, we'll just keep it spinning around here. Alright, taxi lights coming on. And I'll take us out this way. Alright. See all those people later. Actually, I don't know that we'll ever be coming back here. Who knows? We're just gonna continue. It's a lot of island hopping until we get to Guam. So just a few short legs away from Guam, really. All right. I'm gonna pull up our airport diagram here, taxi diagram. So we're going to be exiting here on the Delta taxiway, and then it'll be a right turn on Echo down toward the end. And once we get on straightaway here, I'll do our navigation briefing. Clear left, we got that truck out there to the right, but shouldn't be too much of an issue here. He's moving down the taxiway now. That's good. Make our call here on Common Traffic Advisory frequency. Probably be a good idea. And Buckholz traffic, United 1956 Boeing 737 taxiing from the commercial terminal to runway 6 via Echo Alpha, Buckholz. And alright, for our navigation briefing, we're going to be taking off runway 6 out of Buckholz Army Airfield. And it's initially going to be runway heading. Well, like I said, we'll make right traffic back around and join direct to Steph. So, we'll be going into heading mode at 400 feet, VNAV at our flap attraction altitude of 1500 feet. Transition altitude is going to be at 5,500 today, and it'll be standard abort criteria. Flaps are set at 1, speeds are 124, 137, 145, and straight out to 3,000 feet if we lose an engine. Plan to come back around to land here at Buckholz Army Airfield. Thankfully, we have pretty good weather for now. There are a few rain showers in the area, so I'll probably leave the continuous ignition on until we get up above the towering cumulonimbus, or towering cumulus clouds here. And that's all I have. So we'll just continue our taxi. And beautiful day here in the Kwajalein Atoll. Take a look at the back really quickly. That's pretty cool. See the wing bouncing as we hit the bumps in the taxiway. That's awesome. Now, PMDG did an excellent job with this 737. Go ahead and flip on the continuous ignition. We'll be getting out of here pretty shortly. Going over to TARA. Now this runway is at 6,668 feet. When we get up to or down to Kosrae, that runway is under 6,000 feet. I think it's 5,600. So much shorter runway by about 1,000 feet. So that'll be fun. The approach, we'll see if the rain showers are in the area down there or not when we get there. But like I said, we're going to plan to do the NDB approach. It'll be my first time trying the NDB approach here in the PMDG 737, so really looking forward to that and doing it live with you all. So no, you get to, any mistakes I make, you'll get to watch it live, so enjoy. So just the way it's gonna be. Some cool buildings they have here. Some regional buildings. Very neat. Alright, we're coming down toward the end of the runway here. I'm going to go ahead and do some of my checks, get the HUD down. I'm going to turn the brightness down just a bit to sharpen it up. There we go. Get my takeoff config check. Alright, that's good. Alright, before takeoff check, runway position, 6 there, and 6 on the sign. So 6 verified, flaps, 1 green. Navigation briefing complete, takeoff warning checked, auto throttle is armed. Engine start switch is continuous, transponder TAR and flight attendants are notified. We are ready for departure. For takeoff check complete. Gulf traffic, United 1956, Boeing 737, taking off runway 6, we'll be departing the pattern via right traffic and departing to the west, southwest. Gulfs. Alright. Runway 6 is verified on the pavement, and here we go. Let me stop really quickly, let this get all set. Alright, we're at 16,100 pounds of fuel. That's good. We're 300 above what we need. Let's roll. And Toga. Press set.
80 knots.
Check. Throttle hold, thrust normal.
V1. Rotate. Positive rate of climb.
You're up. Heading mode. And we're clear right. Just gonna turn this back around. Don't hear anybody else on the radio here. Alright, there's our flap traction. Let's go ahead and VNAV so we can start our start to accelerate. Got our flap retraction schedule. Yeah, let's turn us all the way back around here, and then we'll arm the LNAV to intercept our course. Our clean speed today is 200 knots for the flaps to be up. Alright, flaps up. And after takeoff check. Looks like the flight director wants us to go back a little farther left there, get on track. I'm trying to hand fly it really quickly while I do all this, whoops. I want that to turn to off. Sometimes it can be hard to get these switches to do what you want. There we go, off. I'm going to leave the continuous ignition on for now. And let's go ahead and arm the autopilot so I can do the checklist properly. Alright, let's check the bleeds. Everything's looking good. Cabin's climbing like it should. We got the APUs off. Do the continuous ignition on for just a bit. Alright. After takeoff check. Flaps up, landing gear up, off, packs, auto, engine bleeds on. Pressurization panel check and start switches are still continuous and APU off. After takeoff check complete. Alright, we're through our transition altitude, so altimeters are at standard. And that's great. Looking good. Let's see if we can see the toll out the back window. Yeah, you can see it a little bit behind us there. There it is. Very cool. Must say the weather is much better than it was yesterday at this time. From the bells in the back. Much, much better than it was yesterday. And there we are, we're accelerating nicely. There's another atoll up ahead there. See it in the distance. I think out here in this part of the world that we're flying in, it's currently a little after 3 in the afternoon, so, and it's also Friday the 12th of August, so on the other side of the international date line from where I live in the United States. So it's Friday afternoon. I'm flying this on a Thursday night where I live. So it's crazy to think about. Other side of the world. And I think we're actually gonna go back another hour on this flight over to Kosrae, so I think regardless I'm still going to plan to shoot the NDB approach just because that's what I was really planning to do on this video, and we'll I think I put it in the title for the thumbnail on YouTube, so we're definitely going to plan to do it. I think that's something I can definitely control. So even if the weather's kind of like this, we'll shoot the NDB approach just to practice it. And we have plenty of fuel on board. But we'll have to see. I mean, yesterday, the weather conditions, they change very rapidly on these islands out here in the ocean. I don't know, Kosrae has some pretty decent terrain, actually. And so those mountains that are on that island, they can create their own weather, for sure. I'm gonna try to see what this island is. We have off our left side here. This is an interesting looking island. I'm pulling up my Google Earth here. See if I can find this. If any of y'all know, feel free to speak up in chat. It's a pretty random looking island out here. Let's see. It takes a little while to find the. There's the Marshall Islands. Yeah, I'm not really sure. There's Kwajalein. I'm not really sure what that island is. So, cool. Well, it's passing off our left side now. Right there's flight level 180, so we'll go ahead and get our lights. Get everything to cruise mode. Just put the landing lights off, runway turn-offs off, taxis off. Go back to ignition off, so we're above the towering cumulus clouds. And we don't need the wing lights. Alright, there we go. Climb check's complete. We have the altimeters in standard and they're cross-checked. So there's definitely some interesting stuff that happened in this part of the world just in the last 50, 80 years, the last century really, since World War II. A lot has happened in this area. There were a lot of tests of atomic bombs, nuclear bombs, hydrogen bombs in these islands and the Marshall Islands back behind us. And it was actually, I mean, pretty controversial stuff, but obviously there was a lot going on in the world at that time, and people, I think, were really nervous about what was happening. So I know now the few governments are working together to try to clean up a lot of the fallout from some of the tests. A lot of the videos of those tests have been declassified by the United States government. You can look at them on YouTube now. Pretty incredible, some of the bombs and other things that went off. But obviously it's one of those things you wish never had to occur, just because of the impact it had on people and the environment also. But definitely fascinating to look at some of those videos. I mean, the one I saw was aircraft flying up, who knows what flight level they were at. It's like a B-29 bomber or something up at probably 30 or 40,000 feet. You can just see this massive mushroom cloud rising up above even that altitude. Just crazy stuff. But I'll wonder if there's a way I can yeah, you can check them out if you'd like to on YouTube. Really some kind of interesting stuff. Well, let's continue our climb up here. We'll be monitoring our fuel, especially when we get to top of climb. Our flight release was showing that we were planning on having at the top of climb 12,637 pounds of fuel. So we're looking on track to have that. We're at 13.5 right now. We still have about 12,000 more feet to climb. But beautiful day out here in the Pacific. I guess we're still in the North Pacific since we're above the equator. So also, I did want to mention I have custom scenery installed for the Kosrae airport that we're flying to, and it's freeware, available at flightsim.to. I will post a link and information about it in the description of this video later on. So I was not able to get it in the description before the stream started, but we'll definitely plan to do so afterwards. So yeah, check it out. You'll get a view of it as we come in. It looked really neat when I tested it earlier today. So look forward for us getting to see it real time, operating a 737 in there here in the next few minutes. might play a little bit of background music softly in the back for us here as we fly along. It's just it's gonna be a pretty. There's not gonna be a ton of scenery to look at, but obviously, if y'all want to talk about anything, please speak up in the chat. Love to talk about anything, especially aviation related, and we'll just enjoy the view as we head out. And I'll probably check in a little more as we get up to cruise, and we can check our fuel at the top of climb and some other things. See what's going on here in the Alright. Looks like I have some high level clouds up ahead. That's interesting. It's gonna be pretty high. So we're already at 28,000. Looks like we're kind of creeping up at 600 feet per minute, but you can see we have a high speed climb at 0.8 Mach. So our cost index was 80 today, which is pretty crazy if you think about it. So check out get the latest weather in Kosrae, and it hasn't updated in quite a while in my aviation weather app. Let's see if I can pull up something from another source. Windy.com. Windy.com has an update from, yeah, it's the same, 4 hours, 35 minutes ago. Winds out of the east, 7 knots, 10-mile visibility. Broken clouds at 2,000 feet. So, yeah, so maybe we will have a decent approach for that NDB. Winds, showers in the vicinity all day, so just marginal VFR. So that's cool. I think we'll have a fun approach in there. Check how our pressurization is doing really quickly. That's always something to keep an eye on. Kevin's still climbing. Wow, we're up at almost 6,000 feet now. and Delta P cabin differentials getting close to 8. So it's quite a difference between the inside of the plane and outside. It's pretty cool that we have the technology now to be able to do that though. Alright, so 5,000 more feet to climb. Looks like we're not going to be up there at our cruise altitude very long. But once we level off, we'll get busy preparing everything for our arrival into Kosrae. We'll have quite a bit to do actually. See how everything's looking out the left side of the aircraft. Just water as far as you can see. It's absolutely incredible how huge the Pacific Ocean is. So I've been flying countless hours this week, just continuing this journey to the west out of Honolulu. It's just like water after water with a little island here and there. But if you look at here's the nav guide en route chart, you can see there's just not a lot of, I can actually pull up the world map. There are not a lot of islands between Kwajalein and Kosrae. There was that one that we saw on the climb out, which, let's see if it even gives us a name on here. No, it doesn't. So I have no idea what that island was. I think probably a local or somebody that flies this route in real life, they would maybe know. But yep, we're just continuing on Alpha 222, our route. And we're almost to our first fix of Steph. Only 38 nautical miles out. Kind of curious what the outside air temperature is now. Our total air temperature is -12. But I'm guessing our, there's no telling what our, let's see, outside air temperature right now is, well, I think it's going to be -56 at the top of the climb. We will see about that. Alright, hey, 35, climbing flywheel 360. So, almost up there. Let's take a look outside the aircraft really quickly. So watch yours. Alright, we have leveled off. Flight level 360 showing 12,000 pounds of fuel. And let's see, we were originally planning to have 12,600 in the top of climb, but I think this was planning us finishing our top of climb much sooner than this. So I think our fuel load at Steph will probably be a more realistic number to verify with. So at Steph we were planning to have 11,500 pounds of fuel. and we're going to be above that, it's looking like now. So all right, down we had 12,000 at our top of climb here on my planning sheet. Just keep note, especially if we happen to, if you lose your fuel readings, like this type of stuff's important that you keep track of how much fuel you had. That way you can at least have something to base your calculations and the abnormal procedures on. So stuff like that, it happens. It really does. It doesn't happen often, but it will. So it's going to be that time you forget to do the typical things you do to keep the flight safe. So, alright, well, here we are up at our cruising altitude. I'm going to go ahead and get started on our getting set up for our arrival into Kosrae. So like we said, let's go ahead and get the weather down there. It's showing a really old report, unfortunately. Not sure what that's about. Guess maybe they just don't have as many automated reports, or perhaps it's an observer that has to be down there and get it running. I'm not sure why it's so sporadic, but at 23:56 Zulu, so that was a while ago, 283 minutes ago. Winds were 090 at 7, 10 miles. Broken at 2,000, broken at 13,000, and broken at 30,000. Temperatures at 32.25 and altimeter 2985. So we'll go ahead and get that standing by down here just so we have it. There we go. Looks like transition altitude at Kosrae once again will be 5,500, so I don't need to say anything new. And back 2 down here. I am going to go ahead and get our landing data using TopCat. Make sure we're all good to go there. We're going to plan to land at runway 5 at Kosrae since the winds are out of the east and they're forecast to remain out of the east. And we can actually use dry runway data going into Kosrae because they do have grooved runway surfaces. Let's take a look at that really quickly. Let's double check that on the airport diagram for Kosrae. So it should be here on the 10.9 page. Yep, there's Steph, 11.7. So, yep, we have about 200-300 pounds above what we were planning to. Perfect. Alright, let's pull up Kosrae airport diagram. And see grooved right there. So we can use the dry runway data. It's only a 5,751 foot runway. So not a very long runway at all. So I'm going to run that here in TopCat and see if this has the same. Yep. Perfect. So for our landing report going into Kosrae, it's going to be a flaps 30 landing. VREF's going to be 129, and a V approach with the wind correction and everything is going to be 137. Planned landing weight's 121.2. That matches what we planned. And we need 4,600 feet of runway to land. I'm going to use Auto 3. It's 5,080 feet. So let's go ahead and get that set. Make sure it's all good to go. 5080, I write that down. So we have our landing distance assessment completed. Now let's go ahead and put the performance or the flap setting at 30, and it's going to be 129 for VREF. And wind correction was +8. That's what we had there. Okay, perfect. So that's all set. Alright, landing data is set. Let's go ahead and get set up for our descent. So we're going to want to be, let's see, PTSA. So at 30 out from PTSA, we want to be at 10,000 feet, 250 knots. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the fasten seatbelt sign for a bit. It's nice. Yeah, let's see if it'll let me. Wait, I can do public address. I'll just do general. I'll let the first officer do it. There he goes. Thanks, first officer. And I'll pull up our approach plates, the NDB Alpha and Kosrae. So what this is going to do is it's just going to bring us in and kind of like a general approach into the airport, and then it's not going to be lined up with the runway exactly. So we'll get to line ourselves up in that last little bit. Looks like the clouds are picking up as we're heading to the southwest, so that's kind of matching the trend we were seeing in the forecast, and potentially even getting worse than it was back when we have that 4-hour-old VTAR we've been looking at. And we do have an alternate of Kwajalein again coming back if we do have to, if we can't get into Kosrae for whatever reason, either the weather conditions get so bad we can't make it, or whatever the case may be. Alright. The only other thing I wanted to calculate, so we're at 36,000 feet. That means we need to lose 26,000 feet to get down to 10,000. So if we multiply that by 3, that's going to give us 78 nautical miles. Plus, I'd like to add another 10 for slowing down. So that's what, 88 miles. So I'm going to make another ring 88 miles out. I think I'd like us to start our descent. This one will start our descent down into Kosrae. So we have those to help us kind of keep track. A visual aid to help us. So we're planning the Kosrae 26 November 2116-1 NDB Alpha. So the NDB frequency, it's Kosrae NDB. It's going to be 393. Go ahead and get that tuned in down here. 393. Let's switch it over to the active. And yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm going to switch this to ADF1. And it'll show up right down there. 393. Yep, it's identifying UKS. Excellent. Uniform Kilo Sierra. I wonder if it'll let us listen into the identifier. Let's see. I think I can just make it out. Very cool. So yeah, we're gonna want to listen to that. But obviously, the aircraft is able to identify it there too. It's able to take that and show the Uniform Kilo Sierra identifier on our navigation display for us, which is good. Okay, so 393 set. Final approach course is going to be 084. Let's go ahead and get that set up here. 084. At Zuka, we should be at 900 feet. MDA. It's showing 520. This is going to be a constant angle, non-precision approach. What that means is I'm just going to start us down. Toward a derived decision altitude, so that's our MDA plus 50. We're going to be Cat C aircraft today, so that's going to be 570 in the MDA window. We're just going to start a constant descent. We're not going to be doing dive and drive down to the MDA and all of that. No, we're just going to pick a constant descent rate of about 800 feet per minute as we're coming in. And if we don't see the runway, we get to the derived decision altitude of 570 feet, then we'll be going missed. So I'm rolling in 570 now into the barrel window on the PFT. There we go. 570 is set. We need 3 miles of visibility and ceilings of 600 feet. And latest weather report was showing 10 miles and ceilings at 2,000 feet. So visibility and ceiling are good, or were good. We'll see when we get down there. Airport elevation's at 12 feet. We do have the pressurization all set up. The MSA around the Kosrae NDB is at 3,100 feet. You can see there's some pretty decent terrain. Mountains at 2,068 feet, just to the southeast of the airport. So what we end up doing is we end up going out here to a 10 DME arc. Looks like WAST is the initial approach fix. So I'm actually gonna put that in here. WAST. There we go. Not in database, so it doesn't even have it. That's awesome. WAST. So we're just gonna be doing this on our own. I know this procedure was not in the database either. See, it has the RNAVs, which I mean we could, but I'm doing this for fun. So I'm actually gonna put the NDB uniform Kilo Sierra in here, and I'm gonna put the 230 radial, 10 nautical miles distance, so it should build this arc that we're gonna be following. So 230 radial, 10 nautical mile DME arc, and you can see that's all set up now. Actually, it is a 230 bearing C2 from WAST, so I actually need to reverse that. So it's actually going to be what, 50? So let's try that again. 50 slant 10. There. That's what we needed. So we're going to be pretty much on track to that. When we get to that 10 DME arc, we'll just be going around. The clouds are definitely starting to thicken up as we get toward Kosrae. So it's gonna get fun. It's about time to start a descent too. I'm gonna go ahead and set 10,000 feet in the altitude window. And it looks like VNAVs want us to start a descent. So it's 10,000. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the fasten seatbelt sign back on. There we go. Start our descent. And I'll just monitor that. So the screen banana bar should be right on that 30 nautical mile ring we made. See, that's how we can know that we're going to be at 10,000 feet by that target we had set. And really we want to be a few miles, we want to level off a few miles before so we can slow down to 250 knots. Okay, anyways. Transition level is level 055. We have all that set. DME is required. Obtain local altimeter setting on CTAF when not received. Procedure not authorized. Well, we have the altimeter 2985. No controlled airspace below 5500. I mean, tonight on VATSIM, there's nobody controlling out in this area. Honestly, I wonder how often there are controllers. Like, I think Buckholz Airfield had a control tower, but like, I wonder how many of these airfields actually have controllers at them throughout the year. It's probably pretty rare in this part of the ocean in the world. What we'll do is we'll just track along in heading mode on this 10 DME arc, and I'll switch over to making sure we're observing what's going on with the NDB, and we're going to just track it on heading mode, and I'll switch this over to the VOR mode as we're getting closer, and we'll make sure we're getting that ADF needle for the Kosrae NDB, and we'll go in on the so that 264 radial in, Looks like if we do the 10 DME arc, there's no procedure turn. If we were to go over the, and that's what we got to do. Yeah, they're just trying to keep you away from the mountains. So no procedure turn once we come in off the arc on that 84 inbounds on that 084 bearing into Kosrae. And it looks like the Eufy is actually going to be that missed approach point. So we'll have Zukeb and then a Eufy. I wonder if it'll let us put those in at all. Let's see. A Boti. Let's see if a Boti's in there. Looks like it doesn't have any of these. Oh, a Boti's in. Oh, cool. So we'll put a Boti in. And then... So we actually might be able to build this. I just can't do it in LNAV mode. Or if... Well, I guess I could, but I don't know if that's wise. So there's a Boti. We already said was T, it wouldn't let us put was T in. Was T. Well, I'll try it one more time. Yeah, it's like not in database. Okay. I guess I mean, .153 is going to give us our DME, it looks like. So I'll put that in. Awesome. Oh, there we went. Why does it have... Alright, let's go ahead and get the lights on. We've already cleared the lands. We'll go ahead and turn the continuous ignition on since we'll be going through some storm clouds and other things potentially. Yeah, if we do the 10 DME arc, we can just go around, and that's awesome. So I actually have a VOR there, so we can use that to do the 10 DME arc. That's cool. That's what the DME is coming off of at Kosrae on 115.3. So that's what we'll do. We'll just... This is going to be fun. I'm going to have us at 180 knots. When we're going around on this arc, and then we'll come in and shoot the approach. Looks like the offset's going to be pretty substantial. 084 for the offset, or for that approach in, and then 048 is the actual runway heading, so it's like 36 feet, or 36 degrees off. The missed approach is going to be a climbing left turn, 3000 on 300 bearing. From the NDB to the 10 DME arc to a Boti, and then there's a hold at a Boti. It looks like we're starting to level off now at 10,000, and we'll go down to 1,500 feet for that 10 DME arc, and all the way around to a Boti. And then at a Boti, we can go down to, once we're inbound, 900 feet to Zukeb, and then a Eufy 2.9 DME out is the missed approach point. After we land, if we land, it's going to be looks like we'll be doing a turnaround on the runway. How width is 150 feet. So we'll turn around on the runway and looks like there's caution. Ships with mass of 200 feet traverse harbor entrance located on west side of runway. So out here. So we'll just be careful about that. Left traffic. Alright, that's the plan. Let's do it. Let's go ahead and run our descent check. Altimeters are 902 for now. Cross check. We'll be 2985 once we get to our transition altitude. Minimum's Barrow 570. Cross checked. Landing data is ref 30 129. Approach briefing complete. Auto brakes 3. Seatbelt signs on. Pressurization panel set. Recall checked. Descent check complete. There's 11 for 10,000. Alright. Go ahead and set 1,500. I actually see the island out in front of us now. Go ahead and set 1,500. Look, you can see, there it is. On Kosrae, you can see it's definitely a little more mountainous than some of those atolls that we just left. So, beautiful place. But, like I said, I'm still going to practice this NDB approach just for the fun of it. We'll give the flight attendants the bells. And approach check. Flight nav instruments are verified. Actually, let me put the NDB over here on. It's 393. Set. Okay, perfect. Did I get 115.3 over here? Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna set that over there so we have that. Okay, so I can have the VOR2 giving us the DME, and then ADF1 right here showing us where we are. I'm gonna go ahead and start deleting some of these rings just so we don't have as much clutter on here. I don't need either one of these anymore. So we have UKS, Abodi, Zukab. Did I get Zukab on here? No. I think what I was thinking I could do was Abodi, Zukab, Yufi. Just have it in the LNAV page. Just as a, no, that's not even in, wow, it's not in the database, so I'm not even gonna worry about it. Erase. But we'll put a fix there just for reference. So we want, you don't want to have a lot of head down time below 10,000 feet. That's something that's specifically stated in like almost any airline manual. Like technically, like if anyone's gonna be typing in down here, it would probably be the pilot that's monitoring. Alright, so there's Zukab. I wonder if the UP, I can put that in. That's the last thing I'm gonna try, and then we're not gonna do anything else in here. Okay, yeah. So at least we have Zukab that we can, or Bodhi, I mean. Oh, there's the island. Beautiful island. Out in the Pacific. And I do not want to be going this slow. Let's do flaps 1. Alright, we're about to get to the 10 DME ART, as you can see here. So I'm going to switch this over to heading mode really quickly. 227 heading. and we'll be just following this down. Let's go flaps 2. Alright, so let's go ahead and start our turn on the arc. So there's the NDB. Wonder if it would, huh, that's cool. So 320, I should have started that turn a little bit sooner, actually. Let's go flaps 5. And it's a pretty long little circuit around the DME arc. It's plus 24 Cs, so we don't have to worry about any ice in any of these clouds. So we are a little bit inside of where we should be. We're at 8.4 DME. So I'm just going to maintain this heading for a while until we get a little farther out. I think it'd actually be fun if I could. Let's see. Yeah, we'll try it without the ring there for a bit, see how we're doing, and then I'm gonna try it without the ring, or without the map, just for fun. Ends of route, look at that, it's like, you've completed, I'm actually gonna put runway 5 in, just so we have it. Runway extension, I'll do 5.0 miles, and we want 3 degrees, perfect, we'll take that, just so we have it. Activate, execute. Alright, there's 10.3, so we'll turn another 10 degrees in. Actually, I'll turn 20 in because we're a little beyond. I can't see. I can't get a good bearing on where we are. So I'll just keep following this. Nice arc. And we'll just stay here at we'll just stay here at 180 knots around. Make sure we maintain a nice manageable speed, turn radius. A few low scattered clouds out here. Nothing too crazy. Alright, looks like we're gonna level off now. And I need to, here we are. 285 is cross check for our altimeter setting. Alright, and we're leveled off now at 1,500 feet. Like I said, our final approach fix is Zukeb, so Abodi to Zukeb is 5 miles. So we'll go ahead and start slowing, get the gear down once we get to Abodi. Also, let's do 160 knots, we'll get the gear down and start getting toward flaps 15. Well, I hate to say this, but I'm kind of sad that the weather's so nice. I mean, it's cool we can see the island, but I was kind of hoping for a scuzzy approach like yesterday with an NDB. So I'll have to try it again sometime soon. Alright, now we're looking good. We're right here at 10.0. DME, which is right where we want to be. But at least this is good practice. Alright. That's actually what I needed, was to have it centered so that I could see the needle all the way through. Because before, see, I couldn't get any bearing of where I was. So, good. It's good snow. Alright, let's turn it 10 degrees in to 220. And a Bodie that was on the 264 outbound, so we got that. And then we turn in on the 084 track. So really I need to, see I'm still heading outbound a little too much because you want this to be a 90 degree. I'm actually a little out, so I need to make it a little greater than, yeah, cut it in just a bit. Here we go. I'm gonna switch back. I don't want to be cheating here. It's not as much fun when you're cheating. Fuel wise, obviously it looks like we're not gonna have any trouble getting in weather unless something crazy happens, which it could. To get back to Kwajalein, we would need 5,200 pounds of fuel, and we have 10,000 plus our reserve of 4.5. Turn on the ADF just to listen to it just for fun. As you can see, we're getting close to a Bodie now. I'm gonna go ahead and slow us back to 160. And let's go flaps 10. Gear down. Like we said, it's going to be a 084 course inbound, so we'll go ahead and start turning us toward it. Also going to raise our altitude window up to 3,000, so we'll be able to descend once we're at Zoocab. Or actually inbound we can go down to 900, but shot just a little bit, so I'll take it back over here. We're going to be at 084, and we go down to 900 feet now. Take us to 900. Ah. Let's do flaps 10. And it looks like the wind's right to left. Now we're 2 prior, so let's go ahead and slow back to our approach speed of 137. There we go, 137 is set. Let's do flaps 25. So we're level at 900 feet. And 30. Landing check, landing gear down, flaps 30, 30 green. Speed brake arm and engine start switch is continuous. Landing check complete. Kosrae traffic, United 1956, Boeing 737, 7 mile final runway 5, Kosrae. Alright, set this to 3,000, which will be our missed approach altitude, so we can begin our descent at 5.2 DME. Alright, here we go, 800 feet per minute. Ground speed times 5, it's 500, it's 150, it's actually going to be more like 700, so we'll do 700 feet per minute. I have the airport in sight now. There it is. So I'm actually going to disconnect the autopilot now. I just want to see what it would look like if we went all the way down to minimums, and that's when I'll
approaching minimums.
Take us over to the airport. You can see just how offset this is. Look at that. Imagine, it could be a little disorienting.
Minimums.
Runway in sight, continue. You can see how it could be a little bit disorienting. Flight director's coming off. Low visibility. So this would have been this would be a fun approach. I'm not going to use the HUD since we're in really good weather conditions here. And Kosrae traffic, United 1956, left base runway 5, Kosrae. Alright. Alright, so 500 feet, that's like a mile and a half out on a 3-degree glide path of like 700 feet per minute. Just gotta make sure that we yeah, you can see how tight this gets you too on that offset. To a short runway, no less. So this is fun.
300.
And we're spot on. Auto throttle's coming off. 1 dot low, flying
200.
up.
100. 50. 30. 20. 10.
Hey, get on the ground, get on the ground. There we go. And full reverse. Spoilers are down. And 80 knots. You can see this is a pretty short runway for everything going on. Okay, great. We are down. That was fun. I would like to try that approach again with the weather right at minimums. I think that would be an outstanding approach to attempt. Just with it being offset like that, and I don't believe it. There you go. I don't think it killed the auto brakes. Alright. Just make sure I don't take out that runway edge light. And Buckles, or actually, Kosrae traffic, United 1956, Boeing 737, back taxiing runway 5. Back taxiing to the terminal. Kosrae. Alright, there we go. It's very green here. Alright, begin our back taxi. I'm going to go ahead and start the timer here, just so we can make sure we observe our engine cool down limits. That's neat. There's a nice little bridge. See, there's some mist up in the mountains here in Kosrae. And it looks like we're gonna get the gate right about on time, which is good. Well, that was fun. Totem Official, hi. Hey, welcome aboard. Glad you could join. Hope you got to see that cool approach. I think I might have to try that again sometime. Look at this. Now there's some fog rolling in, or I think it's more like haze with the sun. That isn't fog. I think the weather can change pretty rapidly out here in the ocean, and I think if we'd flown out here yesterday, it potentially would have been a different story. I feel like the weather was just a lot worse out in this part of the Pacific yesterday compared to today. So, well, Totem Official, I hope you are doing well. Whatever part of the world you are tuning in from. Where I live, it's it just became Friday, so it's just hit midnight here where I live. So completely different look than what we have here in Kosrae, where it's in the afternoon. All right, once we get off clear of the runway, let's go ahead and do the after landing flow. I'm trying to see who's going to be marshalling us in. Okay, I see him now, I think. Alright, after landing, please. Let's go ahead and I'm just going to turn off all the lights. Get the APU running. Perfect. This is hard to see who's guiding us in. Oh, there he is. I see him now. He's over there at the tug. Oh, that's good. Actually, they want us to leave the logo light on, so I will. Let's get the transponder back. All the heat's off. After landing, check. Engine start switches are off, flaps are up, speed brake is down, and radar off. After landing check complete. Sorry, I had to take that nice and easy. I need to get the auto brakes off. There we go. That's the one thing I forgot. Let's move over that way. Okay. Alright. Perfect. Parking brake, let's get that set. We have our 3 minutes of engine cool down time. That's good. Let's get the electrics over to the APU so we can shut down. Nice. Alright, that looks good. We'll switch our bleeds over to the APU also. Alright, engines are coming down. Collision lights off. See if they get our chocks in for us. Submitting the ACARS report there. Chocks, please. I can get them to do it. There we go. Set the chocks. Excellent. Get the ground power. Get the air stairs connected. Air stairs, there we go. Actually, I don't want the... There we go. Request stairs, that's what I actually wanted. We'll actually get stairs in the front and in the back. I saw that, I was looking at a picture of, some of these routes, and they use stairs in the front and the back to get the passengers off, which I thought was pretty cool. And also, we want the baggage loaders in. Yeah, let's get everybody out here. It'll look cool to have everything as it should be. Now let's do the shutdown check, please. Let's go ahead and get all of that. Seatbelt sign can definitely come off. The chock's in now. And yeah, this is gonna be the last leg for us tonight, or today. Chocks are in, so that can come off. Transponder off. We don't need to keep listening to the ADF here. Flight directors, got those off. Actually, we got one. Two needs to come off though. Alright, let's do the shutdown check. Parking brake is set. Pressures come down now. That's alright. Fuel pump switches are as required. Seatbelt switches off. Window heat off. Probe heat is off. Anti-ice off. Electric hydraulic pumps off. Air conditioning panel is set. Anti-collision light off. Engine starts, levers, cut off, transponder, standby. Shutdown check is complete. Let's go ahead and unlock the door. That way we can. I don't think PMDG will let you open the flight deck door quite yet, but we'd go thank our passengers for riding with us today. Obviously, I thank you all for riding along. That's for sure. It was fun. Let's take a quick tour of the airport area. Actually, I think that would be worthwhile. So let's go do that. We have a crazy camera, but this is a Freeware airport that's available for Kosrae. So you can see it's a beautiful rendition. Lots of grass, green grass, lush grass that you probably saw on our approach in. So pretty mountainous area. You can see why they have the NDB approach take you way out there around over the ocean and give you plenty of room to come in to land, especially if the visibility was getting low. There we go. So we'll do a quick walk around of the aircraft here. You can see looks absolutely beautiful. Everything's intact. APU is still running for now, but we're gonna go check out the Kosrae airport a little bit. And nice. Welcome to Kosrae, the mysterious paradise island, home of the sleeping lady mountain. And yeah, that is what I've heard, that if you look at this island as you're approaching from the ocean, it almost looks like a sleeping lady. And you can actually see it there. Look at this. That kind of looks like the lady's face, I think, and then her body. And you can see it, especially if we're out there in the ocean. I should have been looking for that when we were coming in. You can see it's like a sleeping lady. Maybe that's like her face there. But really cool. But I'll put a link to this Freeware scenery in the video description. Definitely worth checking out if you're going to come and explore this part of the world, especially if you want to try that approach. Get the weather down nice and low though to minimums, make it extra fun. But yeah, here we are in at Kosrae International Airport Terminal. Pretty neat. And I guess from here you could head out, explore the island a little bit. But for now, I do thank all of you for joining me on this leg 3 of the United Island Hopper. And we'll plan to do the next leg more than likely tomorrow night. We'll be continuing on toward Pompeii, I believe, is the next leg. But for now, thanks for flying with me. VREV Simmer will be signing off. Look forward to seeing each of you in the air again soon as simulation approaches reality. Thanks for riding along. Have a great morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you might find yourself in the world. I'll see you in the friendly skies again soon.
Head held high, even though it's not a lie that we need deep in the dust. Killing time while pretending that we're fine, thinking someday we will burn. It takes some time, even though it's just a smile. But I hate it when I'm faking. With you all night in a body that ain't mine, thinking I am gonna burst. You and I are falling behind, and I'm ready to go. Get out while we're whole. Now take my advice. Take my advice. Let go, let go. I wanted you. I know you feel it too. Cut loose before we sink. We sink into the ocean's blue, the ocean, the ocean, the ocean. I hear we sink into the ocean, the ocean blue, the ocean. I wanna leave and finally be free. Free of all our expectations. No more couple invitations. I wanna let go, let go. I wanted you. I know you feel it too. Cut loose before we sink. We sink into